nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Nice. Nice. I know everybody at home is clapping. Thank you. So yes, here we are, radiating at the center of our own lives, knowing that God's love shines through us today. Yes. So just take this moment to center ourselves into this service and take a deep breath, and with all your heart, help me bless not only the Rev and his message, the sound team, our amazing music department, maybe a couple of four-legged people running around. We simply bless all those who are tuned in and who are going to tune in later, and all of those amazing congregants that are sitting at home supporting us and loving us through this day. Soaked in blessings. Please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. I'm going to remember to light the candles this week. And so today we're going to light the candles for nurses. And so I just wanted to share a quick story. My mom was a nurse, and I got the chicken pox in my 20s, and I got it bad. And my mom came over to my house to take care of me. It wasn't until a couple of weeks after I was done with the chicken pox that I found out that she had never had the chicken pox. And she had put her own health at risk by coming to take care of me. And I have no doubt that all of us have stories with this virus of that kind of stuff happening. So the first candle is lit for nurses, and because we know they're just going above and beyond, right? And our second candle today is it's just about love. It's that when we feel like we can't do anything else, we can love. And so I invite all the congregants to just feel that and know that each of us can make a difference. So, with that love and energy in your hearts, from where you are, let's loudly proclaim our purpose, vision, and mission statements so that we can hear it here. So our purpose, our reason for being is we awaken and inspire love and oneness. So our vision, what do we want to create or become? We are an empowered, uplifting, inclusive community. And of course, our mission, well, how are we going to do all of this? We teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. We're all giggling because you're going to find out why. But so today's sacred reading, of course, Science Mind magazine. I'm not sure who wrote this because I only have the copy of it, but it's in the March 23rd from 2013. It's easy to love life when things are going well. However, our greatest gifts often come when we struggle with challenges, allowing us to emerge on the other side stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. We discover sensitivity, strength, and conviction possessed only by one who has actually walked through the fire. We feel it when we are in the presence of one who has overcome an illness, maybe an addiction, loss, financial devastation, or any other natural or man-made disaster. Would we have asked for these circumstances? No! Would we have believed that we had the endurance, the will, or the courage to overcome them? No! And yet, here we are, with a deep sense of self that's born out of adversity. The God of our understanding is alive and well, and within us all. It is where we find our courage, our empathy, our wisdom, and it is what connects us to everyone and everything around us. Because in our struggles, we realize that we have all had pain, we have all been afraid, and we all want to be loved. It is the light that shines within each of us, filling us with its extraordinary love. A love that comforts, that heals, and that teaches us how cherished we are. Back to Jessica.
Life is good and it's getting better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of love and it's growing stronger. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Life is great and it just gets better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of joy, happy and happier. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Life is good and it's getting better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of peace, feeling calmer. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Life is great and it just gets better. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are one and we're growing stronger. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did everybody picture Zoe and Zalia running through? Last time she sang that song, Zalia had to be sitting on her shoulders. It was awesome. Hi, Zoe. That's great. I love that. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome today into our virtual service here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. We've got some exciting stuff happening around here. But before I get into that, I want to just talk about prayer. We're getting a lot of prayer requests across our website, so keep it coming. I have no doubt that every single one of us could put in a prayer request about something. So just know that I know personally when I see those prayers come across, I get really excited because it's something to do, but it's also something that I get to do for everybody that I really miss. So please keep those coming in. So next week is Mother's Day, and you might want to tune in. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but it's going to be a special day where we honor all our moms, and we'd love you guys to join us. And also keep in mind that you can pull into our parking lot, and we can do a parking lot thing. So please join us. And just a quick side note, I asked a bunch of people to help me with a video this week, and just know that we're not going to premiere it this week. We're going to premiere it next week. So, Visioning for Peace. Visioning for Inner Peace is happening Wednesday, May 6th at 6:55 p.m. It's a free call-in conference line, and the phone number for that is on our website. So, and I know a couple of people have asked. Yes, we have classes coming, so I think that's all of the announcements. Isn't that amazing? Awesome. Back to the amazing music.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloomed in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the garden views are shining, and the air is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sing, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sing, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sing, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sing, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are
Thank you, Jessica and Aaron. It's always difficult to follow that. Your range is amazing.
Blame Aaron today. High, low, high, low.
Well, you hit every note. Thank you very, very much. And welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. It is indeed an honor and a joy to be invited into your homes. And we also welcome those who are listening in the parking lot, on your radio. What a joy it is to be with you this day. I only wish that you could be here in person to hear this. The sound is a lot better, but it's still not like being here. I want to take just a moment to acknowledge our team that's putting this on. You get to see Linda and I. You get to see Aaron and Jessica. But in the back that you never get to see are Bob and Neil, who are doing the video and the audio, the sound and the pictures. They have been working at this now for, 5-6 weeks we've been doing this, and each week we get a little better and a little better, and I just want to thank you guys so much for doing that. And then the seventh member today, this is kind of a rowdy crew, so we have the responsible adult, and that would be Ann. So she's watching out for the rest of us. I heard a story about a young lady. She lost her father. She and her father were very, very close. They did all kinds of things together, and she took his death very, very hard. She was comforted by her awareness that there is a part of us that is our soul, whatever we want to call it, that goes on, it lives on. But it still didn't take away the pain from the separation, the pain from his death. And it had been sometime, several weeks after he had passed away, she, without thinking at all, whipped out a text, and she had his number already in, and she texted him about the goings-on of her day. And she finished that text and realized that, of course, it was going nowhere. And for some reason, she decided, what the hell? And she went ahead and sent. She hit the send button. And as soon as she did, she was filled with almost a kind of a peace. And the next day, she did the same kind of a thing. She whipped out a text to her dad and hit send. And over the next weeks, it became a daily habit. She would each day tell about what had gone on for her that day, her triumphs, her defeats, the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. And every day she shared those in a text to her deceased dad, and she would hit the send button. She talked about when she finally graduated from college and how proud she was. And she talked about getting her first job and how proud she was of that, and then her first promotion. But it wasn't all just the highs. She also shared the sorrow from a breakup with her boyfriend of quite a few years, and the pain that was associated with that, and then the defeats and some of the other parts of life that aren't so wonderful. She shared everything with her father. And on the 4th anniversary of his passing, she took a moment to just tell her dad how much she loved him, how much she missed him, but how glad she was that we still had this connection. And a few hours after she hit send, she got a reply. And it kind of scared her at first, and she opened it up, and it started out something to the effect, "Hello, my name is Brad. And I don't know who you are or why you are sending me these texts. But these texts have been my lifeline to sanity For you see, I lost my daughter 4 years ago today. And in the depths of my grief, I started getting your texts. And my connection with my daughter was rekindled by your texts every day. I can only think how wonderful your father must have been and how proud of you he is. And I know now that your texts have been something wonderful in my life, and I just want to thank you. The title of my talk today is Appearances Move. There is no doubt that we are in a stressful time between the virus and the economy, separation from one another, not being able to see and be with our grandkids and our kids, and the anxiety that we have about the unknown nature of the future and what's going to happen. And these are all real things in our lives. They are absolute real things in our lives, but they're not the only thing in our life. What I want to talk about today is that these things are all appearances, and appearances move. These things, these effects are temporary, and they fall away. And we can defeat these, just as we can defeat this virus, when we turn our attention away from the temporary and focus that attention instead on the things that are permanent. And so my 3 points today that I'm going to talk about are, first of all, God is. Secondly, I am. And thirdly, I know. Oh my. I think I just heard a groan from the Prac 2 class who aren't even here. It must have resonated throughout the whole Anchorage Bowl. That's what I have been preaching for the last 2 years to the Prac class. God is, I am, I know. So we'll start off. God is. What is God? What is the nature of the divine? Well, through history, through traditions, various religious traditions, not only in the Abrahamic traditions, of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, but throughout other religions, one common theme seems to be that this infinite presence, this thing that is all-powerful, it is all-knowing, and it is present everywhere all the time, through all of space and through every moment of time. Well, that gives us kind of an idea of what it is, but maybe we can narrow this down a little bit by looking at what God is not. So let's look a few things at what God is not. Well, number one, God is not sick. I don't think that divine, all-powerful presence is over there worried about catching a virus. I don't think that power, that presence, is afraid of any human illness. Something else that God is not. God is not poor. That infinite presence is not lacking for money, for shelter, for anything else. That infinite presence, God, is not lonely. It is not rejected. Maybe sometimes it's not recognized as much as maybe it could be. But God is not lonely, and God is not rejected. And God is not sad or depressed. Not at all. That infinite presence is not sick. It is absolutely perfect health and vitality. God is not poor. God, that infinite presence, is abundant and prosperous. God is not lonely and depressed. God is love. God is not sad. God is joyous and happy. Point number two, I am. Point is, I am one with God. Ernest Holmes wrote, and this is great, just captures everything in one tiny paragraph. To understand our unity with God is the beginning of wisdom. To realize that we can express our divinity today should be the start of a conscious practice that will gradually conduct us to a greater and greater experience of life. Thus, we will demonstrate not only that an infinite good exists, but that it is now operating in our experience. This is the purpose of the practice of the science of mind. Our consciousness of the indwelling spirit and the embodiment of its gifts brings us into the domain of good. When we recognize that we are one with that infinite source, then that goodness is part of us. To understand our unity with God is the beginning of wisdom. Powerful quotation. So, what is this thing that we are part of? We say that we have all these qualities of God and within us. What is that part of us that do us? Many people refer to that as the soul. And as I looked around trying to get some things to do this, I found a thing from another one of my trusted academic sources, the OWN Network. And evidently, at one point in time, Oprah had interviewed a lot of modern-day mystics and asked them to define the soul. What is the soul? Gary Zukav wrote, "The soul is that part of you that existed before you were born and that will exist after you die. It is the highest, most noble part of yourself that you can reach for." Pretty good. Ianya Van Sant wrote, "The soul, I believe, is the fingerprint of God that becomes a physical body." I believe that. It is the fingerprint, and it is unique to everybody. Just as there are no two fingerprints alike, there are no two souls alike. I like that too. Deepak Chopra, "The soul is the core of your being. It is eternal. It doesn't exist in space-time. It is a field of infinite possibilities, infinite creativity. It is your eternal reference point, which you should always be in touch." Eckhart Tolle said, "The soul is your innermost being, the presence that you are beyond form, the consciousness that you are beyond form. That is the soul. That is who you are in essence." Wayne Dyer, "The soul is the birthless, deathless, changeless part of us. The part of us that looks out from behind our eyes and has no form. The soul is the infinite, so there is no doubt, no in or out of it. It is everywhere. There is no place that it is not." And finally, my definition of the soul. The soul is the spirit. It is the connection point to God. I believe that the soul is where the Holy Spirit resides. It is where God and man are one. So those very qualities of God that I talked about earlier, when I said that God is not sick, instead, God is perfect health and vitality. God is not poor, it is prosperous and abundant. God is not lonely, it is loved and loving. God is not sad or depressed, it is joyous and happy. So it is that perfect health and vitality. It is the prosperity and abundance, the love and the joy of God that are part of us. It is that which is at the center of who we are. Those very qualities of God must be within us always and forever. So, my third point, I know. I know that we have a cure within us right now. And if we focus on that which is good, instead of focusing on that which we perceive to be destructive, we can overcome that. We tend to watch the news and focus on the effects, on the outer effects of life. When we dwell on the negative possibilities, we attract those possibilities. I urge you to focus instead on the positive. And we can do that through the use of our spiritual practices. The things that we teach in this center. Prayer. Prayer absolutely works. We've seen it demonstrated over and over, and now we have studies, double-blind studies, that absolutely show that prayer is effective. Meditation. We know that when we meditate, we step out of the busyness, the hubbub of the world, and return to our center, that we can become much more calm. Circulation. When we step in and we circulate that good that was within us, it comes back to us over and over. Whether it be monetary, whether it be service, regardless of what it is, when we give out, we receive. And through affirmations, by focusing our attention on the affirmative rather than on lack or limitation or the things that are not. And one of the things that we can do, and I think I've shared with you before, I look at this site, I don't even know what it is, it's called The Good Things, and it lists some things that have happened in the previous week that are of a very positive nature. And a lot of them ended up on the cutting floor today. I had several, but this one is dated Dearborn, Michigan. Now, if you recall, a week ago last Thursday was the beginning of Ramadan, and some Muslims in the United States decorate their homes during the month of Ramadan. Well, in Dearborn, the Muslim community reached out and invited everyone to decorate their homes. At this time of the virus and unknown economic conditions and everything, it's a small gesture, but let's decorate our houses during Ramadan. They organized a thing that they called the Ramadan Lights Challenge. And people of all faiths, all the way throughout Dearborn, Michigan, lit up their houses, and they're participating in lighting up their houses. And people all over Dearborn are enjoying all those lights. Reaching across religions, reaching across different faiths, and celebrating something in common. What a beautiful idea. What a beautiful concept. Another one, as we're coming into high school graduation, it's really tough for some of our seniors. And it's not only high school, it's college, and some communities celebrate lower grades graduation. But this was in Texas, Wiley High School. A principal by the name of Vindy Montgomery had his graduating students, and they couldn't have any type of a graduation ceremony. And so he packed up 612 diplomas in his old beat-up car, and he filled up his tank with gas, and he put on 800 miles driving to the home of every single student and shaking their hand and giving them a diploma. He visited 612 graduating seniors. He drove over 800 miles and took over 80 hours. But afterwards, the thing that the students said, they felt like they mattered. They mattered. I put this one in for Linda. This is a lady by the name of Sherry Franklin. She lives in the San Francisco area. She has a nonprofit known as Muttville. And Muttville is a rescue center for senior dogs. With the advent of the coronavirus and people hunkered down, many people have started adopting dogs and cats and inviting pets into their lives. Sherry capitalized on this, and she has been able to rescue 135 senior dogs, and she has hundreds of applications for senior pet foster care. You see, when we turn our attention away from that which is negative and we place it on that which is a positive, we can change our outlook on things happen in our lives. There was one other one, I wasn't going to talk about it, but the picture was so vivid, and I looked at that and I said, that's Seward. And it was the Alaska Sea Life Center, and it was a great article on two walrus pups. They had lost their mother, and the residents of Barrow, or now Ukviagvik, had saved these walrus pups, and they're in the Sea Life Center now, and the pictures of, I mean, they're getting pretty big, and feeding them with bottles, and these are like big gallon milk jugs, and these walrus pups are just wolfing them down and playing with the people and falling asleep on each other. And these have been adopted out as soon as they get a little bit older. They've got great homes to go to in zoos in the lower 48. They'd never be able to make it on their own in the wilds of Alaska, but I thought it was a good feel story. What I want you to take away today, conclusion. When we pause to recognize that we are the beloved children of God, and we have all of the qualities of God, of that divine creative force within us, then we can have a different way to look at the world and all of the effects that are out there. Appearances move. Spiritual truth does not. We can help each other even at the time of our deepest grief. That infinite presence can step in and help us, just as it did that young girl and Brad. So with our awareness of that presence within our lives, I invite my colleagues, the practitioners. We're all practitioners, let's just face it. Those who have went through 4, 5, 6 years of study and got a license. I invite all of the licensed practitioners to join me in recognizing that infinite presence operating through and as each and every one of us. And knowing that the nature of that infinite presence is one of love, it is one of prosperity and abundance, it is one of perfect health, and most of all, it is one of love. And so we turn our attention away from the effects. We turn our attention away from that which is temporary, and we place our attention on that which is permanent, and that is the very love of God. It is the abundance of the universe. It is the perfect health that is at the center and the core of each one of us. And so we just give thanks now. We give thanks for our awareness of that power, that presence in our lives. And I just release these words into a working of a law that always, always responds. We let it go, we let it be, and so it is.
Rise up on the wings of an eagle. Rise up, rise
Oh, boy. Thank you. That's amazing. It's the time of the service where we give everyone the opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. And I want to talk a little bit about that right now. We have the preliminary numbers in from April, and we had a really great March. It was the highest month that we've had in quite a while. And I was really happy about that. But when the April numbers came in, with no service, only distance, only Facebook Live, we came within a few dollars of March. This congregation has stepped forward in this law of circulation in a big and powerful way. And I am so grateful and I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. I think some of you remember back when I was getting those envelopes with the kiss on them, and there'd be cash in it with no note, no nothing, no return address, nothing. We'd just get this cash in. And Carrie and I got to the place we were running to the mailbox each day to see if we were going to get a kiss envelope. Well, this is like that now. Blaze and I run to the mailbox each day because each day there are checks, there are changes to tithing cards, there are all of these things. And last week we had a real spike in the donations online. So thank you all so very, very much for your ongoing, consistent, and continued financial support of our center. Thank you very, very much. Now, I've talked before about how important it is that we do not give from a sense of obligation. I don't want anybody ever to think that they have to give. And I don't want anybody to ever think that they're given just to keep us afloat or that this center needs the money or anything like that. The idea is that this giving is supposed to be done from your heart. It is a gift of joy. It's a gift of joy. Oh, and what do we have? We have Joy. Joy brought the basket. Good girl. Thank you, Joy. Oh, now she's got to do the rounds. I don't know what Linda is going to come up next for the collection basket. Anyway, if you'll join me in our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
We're learning to love, to learn how to live. our love. God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love. God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Joy. Hi, Joy. God, I love this. So as we close out today, Midnight is happily asleep over there. That's why Joy is helping me benedict out. Right, Joy? Okay. There you go. So, what is on your heart? Hit the send button because the universe is listening. Our soul contains the fingerprint of God, allowing us to move our appearances. So focus on God is, I am, and I know. So let's hang some lights and open to a much greater expression of our life, soaked in wisdom, love, and joy. Oh, please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is.
All right, everyone at home, you should stand up and you should do the like opposite part. So I'll point to you when we get to that part. I shine, feet dance, heart sing. We're given a chance. Spirit loves to dance. Dance. Spirit loves to 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 dance.
Our affirmation today, God is love.
God is love.
I am a perfect child of God.
I am a perfect child of God.
Therefore, I know I am a being of love.
Therefore, I know I am a being of love.
And so it is.
And